Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
So we're from group 3 for the car meeting. Today we're going to discuss, we're going to presentation about creating classroom action research proposal. Next slide.
Wait.
So there are 6 members here. First is Alisa Hayati, second is myself, Anissa Tulga Maharani, third Kalista Nurul Anazmi, fourth Namira Amalia Putri, fifth Raisha Shafira Junor, and last is Sharon Ophelia, but I think Sharon is currently unavailable, out of town, so she's not attending today. Okay, go on.
Okay.
So the first.
For the first slide.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can go on.
Okay. About what is proposal. Proposal itself is a plan set out in the form of an activity design in writing and described semantically in detail. Proposals are generally used as a work guideline or reference in the implementation of planning activity. Etymologically, the word proposal comes from English, namely propose, which means submission or permission or application. Next slide. Sorry, next slide, Namira. Like I mentioned before, we can tell proposal is a plan for a project in written document that is often used to obtain support for project. And for the research proposal, it's a document proposing the research project, generally in the science or academy, and generally constitutes request from permission or sponsorship of the research. And for the proposal in classroom action research, the last one, is a document of an classroom action research to solve the problem in the classroom to improve learning process. It could be used to obtain permission from the school or organization to conduct the research in classroom. Okay. Next slide.
So this part is going to be presented by Kalista. Time is yours.
Alright, it is aim of card proposal. The first point is card proposal as a guide of the direction of activities to improve the quality of each. And the second one is classroom action research proposal is a direction for the implementation planning activities carried out by the teacher. And next is as a requirement for administrative complete for submitting credit point scores for professional development activities. And research activities from the government or the other donor for people who will conduct classroom action research. And the preparation of research proposal is the first step that researchers must take before starting the classroom action research activities. And the classroom action research proposal can help to provide direction for researchers to avoid some problem that may happen during the study or the research, because classroom action research proposal is made with systematic and logical work. So the card proposal can be used as guidelines that are easy to follow. And the aims of classroom action research proposal for the teacher is to get applied permission to do classroom action research to the principal, accompanied by a research proposal. As we know that classroom action research will be carried out in the classroom, so it will involve many people and many interests. There are the head of education, the teacher, committee, student, and other participants. If all participants that have an interest do not agree about the proposal, so technically classroom action research cannot be done. Therefore, if the teacher want to do classroom action research, then he or she must apply for permission to do classroom action research to the principal, accompanied by the research proposal. And the aim of classroom action research proposal is also part of improving teacher competence in solving problem in their class, and it can improve the quality of student learning and can improve the quality of media that will be used in the classroom, and also be useful for improving the quality of procedure and evaluation used to measure the learning outcome process. Next. Next.
Okay. So for this part, for introduction, is going to be conducted by Raisha. Time is yours.
Okay. First, I want to tell you about what is introduction in classroom action research. Introduction in classroom action research is the beginning section, which state the purpose and the goals of the study. This is generally followed by the body and the conclusion. The introduction typically describe the scope or the scope of the research and give the brief explanation or summary of the research. The readers can have an idea about it before they actually start reading it. And what to include in the introduction of classroom action research? First is the background of the study, the problem identification, the third is problem formulation, and the last is purpose of the study. Next slide. Background of the study. The background of the study is a compilation of adequate information that is based on the analysis of the problem or proposed argument. The step and the method, the step and the method needed to arrive at the design and the implementation of the result achieved and feasible solution. The background of study is more in depth and explain why your research topic or thesis is worth the time of your readers. Your paper background of study will provide your readers with context and the information talked about throughout your research paper. It can include both relevant and essential studies. Next, the problem identification. Problem identification in here is a statement that we need to write after finding the problems. The problems that really appears while the teacher doing the teaching and learning process. For example, um, the student have a little vocabulary, the background of the student, their English ability is very low, scared to make a mistake, and student only speak if the teacher invites or asks them to speak. Next, please. The next is problem formulation. The formulation of the problem in classroom action research is the starting point for later research result and or research title. So after identifying and selecting the problems, the next step is to formulate the problems. Why formulating the problem is so important? The problem formulation is based on the rationale you research through your exploration search, and it is essential for completing a good studies. And next, please. And the last is the purpose of the study. The purpose of the study is a statement of why the study is being conducted. or the goals of the study. The goals of study might be to identify or to describe a concept or to explain or predict a situation or solution to a situation that indicates the type of the study to be conducted. In the research process, the purpose is usually stated after the problem, support the problem, and clarify the concept for the teacher. For example, the purpose of this study is to improve students' speaking skill using a game. Next slide.
Okay, for this session, it's going to be conducted by Namira Amalia. Time is yours.
So I will explain about car literature review. What is a literature review? In a sense, a literature review identifies, evaluates, and synthesizes the relevant literature within a particular field of research. It illuminates how knowledge has evolved within the field, highlighting what has already been done, what is generally accepted, what is emerging, and what is the current state of thinking on the topic. What is a literature review? What is meant by the term literature? Literature refers to a collection of published information or materials on a particular area of research or topics, such as books and journal articles of academic value. However, your literature review does not need to be inclusive of every article and book that has been written on your topic because that will be too broad. Rather, it should include the key sources related to the main debates, trends, and gaps in your research area. Next, what is review? To review the literature means to be able to identify first, what has been established, discredited, and accepted in your field. The second, areas of controversy or conflict among different schools of thought. The third, problems or issues that remain unsolved. The fourth, emerging trends and new approaches. And the last one, how your research extends, builds upon, and departs from previous research. A literature review should not include every single source that you have read. It's important to be selective about the sources you choose to address. Ensure the sources you analyze are directly relevant to your research questions and topic. Function of literature review. A literature review functions as a tool to first provide a background to your work by summarizing the previously published work. Second, classify the research into different categories and demonstrate how the research in a particular area has changed over time by indicating historical background. The third, clarify areas of controversy and agreement between experts in the area as well as identify dominant views. The fourth, evaluate evaluate the previous research and identify gaps. And the last one, help justify your research by indicating how it is different from other works in the same area. Next, purposes conducting literature review. There are three main steps. The first is locating relevant literature. The second is reviewing the literature. And the last one is writing about the literature. Locating literature means identify key texts. Reviewing literature means reading key texts and analyzing, also identifying critically, and writing the literature review means synthesizing and organizing. Next, types of literature review. The first is argumentative review. This form examines literature selectively in order to support or refute an argument, deeply embedded assumption, or philosophical problem already established in the literature. The second, integrative review, considered a form of research that reviews, critiques, and synthesizes representative literature on a topic in an integrated way, such that new frameworks and perspectives on the topic are generated. The third is historical review. Few things rest in isolation from historical precedent. Historical literature reviews focus on examining research throughout a period of time. The fourth, methodological review. A review does not always focus on what someone said, but how they come about saying what they say. Reviewing methods of analysis provides a framework of understanding at different levels. The fifth, systematic review. This form consists of an overview of existing evidence pertinent to a clearly formulated research question, which uses pre-specified and standardized methods to identify and critically appraise relevant research and to collect, report, and analyze data from the studies that are included in the review. And the last one is theoretical review. The purpose of this form is to examine the corpus of theory that has accumulated in regard to an issue, concept theory, phenomena. The theoretical literature review helps to establish what theories already exist, the relationships between them, to what degree the existing theories have been investigated, and to develop new hypotheses to be tested.
Okay, for the last presentation, this is the last part, is going to be conducted by myself, Anissa Maharani. So here is about classroom action research part, research design. So basically what is research design is a method, is significant element in the research activity. In this chapter, some aspects will be used to conduct study. They include the research designs, research procedure, settings and subject of the study, data collection, method, and data analysis. So first, we're going to talk about the research design. For the research design, to conduct a useful research, a systematic way or a well-done plan must be made in order to obtain the valid answer of the research questions. It means that the appropriate research design has to be selected. In conducting the study, classroom action research will be used. It was designed to describe a condition objectively and information concerning the status of the phenomena of the sample. So that's the part where research design will be needed. And then for the research procedure, obviously it is the how the teacher going to conduct the classroom action research. So the teacher have to write down the procedure step by step in this part, in this chapter. And then the part of settings and subject of the study, of course, the teacher have to write down where it's going to be take place. It's like, of course, it's going to be in a classroom, what class, what grade, and who are the subjects, how many students are there, and etc etc. And for the data collection method, it could be like interview or maybe Q&A or something like that about the collecting data. And then after the data and all the setting subjects are being collected, the teacher is going to analyze the data in this chapter. I think that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Should we continue to Q&A session? Okay, because it's we already done our presentation. Is there any questions? The first session, I think it's going to be 4 questions. We're going to take 4 questions first. Is there anyone want to ask? Please ask.
Afa.
Okay.
Ica.
Yes, Afa. Please go on.
One function of literature review is to identify gaps. So what does gap in this case mean? Thank you, Ica.
Thank you, Alpha, for the questions. So we're going to collect the questions first, I guess. So we're going to collect 4 questions first, and after that, okay, okay. I think it's Tiara's first. Wait,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Tiara, you can
Okay.
talk.
Is it necessary to follow the arrangement of one part like the introduction?
Okay, thank you, Tiara, for the questions.
Okay.
Bisa aja dia mau loncat ke laptop gua. Astagfirullahaladzim. Maaf.